So welcome everybody. Tonight is the holiday of Sukkot, and we're going to see a video of the Lubavitcher Rebbe talking about the holiday of Sukkot as being a milestone in our life of how you should behave towards the world, because we think that fighting a war means you have to have a weapon. You have to have a weapon that you have, and you have to shoot people. And the Rebbe says that's not true. You can just walk and think positively, and that is the best weapon. So let's start it. I'm going to put back to the beginning of the movie. One second.
Regarding the festival of Sukkot, the Torah states, "And you shall take for yourselves on the first day the beautiful fruit, the date palm, and branches of myrtle and willow, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days." An address to children.
You can see it okay?
Yes.
Okay. If you're not comfortable with the Hebrew or Yiddish terms, just let me know and I'll say it out loud.
Wird man sich in einer Armee, wie sie fühlt sich da, als sie hat spezielle Tent, spezielle Amokim, a speziellen Ort, wo sie leben. Und sie haben auch echt speziellen Gewehr, Weaponry, diese sollen können durchführen, sehr mischen als der richtige Zowo und vermanazeier sein. In dem Milchomes, was sie dürfen fühlen. Für was fühlt sich das als sie da? Lemato, der Fall, was als sie ist eingeführt, echt in dem Milchome mit dem Jeser. Wo das sich eier richtige Mischen auf Menazeier sein in der Milchome, nur da sagt der Rebester, a die kleine Neschek, ist Gott von einer anderen Sort und nicht sie verbunden mit Schlagensach oder Kriegensach oder Rachmanitzlam vergießen Blut. Sagt man, als anstatt dem, was beschaß an Armee von einer menschlichen Armee, will beweisen, als sie haben einen Zeher gewählt, geht man nach Reis und beweist allerlei kleine Eschek, Rifles und verschiedene Sachen mit Bullets, mit Tochen und mit Daggers und mit Nesses und mit Traske-Dermit und mit Sturm-Dermit. Und wir rechnen, dass das wird beweisen, der Messe, aber mit der richtigen Armee sagt der Rebester, als seine Armee, was hier sind die Mitglieder von der Armee, ist ein Name zu Chayo, was sie beweist hier, als ihr hat mir Nazeier gewählt, durch den Ruf, was ich alle wissen, als ihr lernen Teil und seid Mekaye Mitzvah, und mir beweist das Offenheit und mit großem Stolz waren ein Name zu Chayo, und speziell steht das Offenheit in Chagasukis. Der Rebester hat gesagt, dass jeder Jid, was ist so Hashem, befragt noch jüdische Kinder, sollen sich verbinden mit einer speziellen Tent, mit der Sukkot. Und das wird echt eine spezielle Mitzvah, wo der Mond jeder Jiden und alle Jiden, als was Sukkot ist, schafft die. Der Rebester erreichnehmen die Kinder von Golus, Mitzrayim, wo damals seien sie geworden, in Jesu Lohom seien sie geworden, ein Volk der Rebesters Armee, hat sie weggestellt und besetzt in seine Binyon, in Basukis, schafft die, und danach sagt man, soll man nach Reis gehen, wie sagte Medrisch. Beweisen als ein Mann mit zu Chayo, als wir haben einen Nazeier gewählt, in dem Milchome, was man gehabt in Aseres, mit Schuvo und in Yom HaKippurim. Und damals hat sich Miswade gewöhnt, und der Rebischte hat vergeben, auf alle Averis, was mal gewöhnt. Und hat gesagt, davon nichts da. Ist jeder Jid und alle Jiden, befragt jüdische Kinder, ist Amech Kulam Tzadikim und Leilam Nishu, Yishu Oretz, Neitzer Matoi, Meister Jodel ist Spoil, mit allen Pirushim, was in dem, und sagt, als ein Stott, was befällt, geht nach Reis mit der Reifel, kommt zu gehen nach Jid und geht nach Reis mit der Lulav. Und als Stodru, was hat Bollet, geht Reis a Jid und bringt mit sich an Nefre. Und als Stodru, was hat a Dager oder ähnliche Sachen, nimmt mit Hadassim und Arovis. Und stellt sich weg mit allen 4 Minen. Und stellt sich weg in seinen militärischen Barak, wo das ist der Sukkot. Und macht a Broche. Asche die Schone wie mit Zweise wie Zivono, auf den Netile von der Dalit Minin und gibt a Tresel und beweist der ganze Welt, a Seele Reche, Wele Basusi, sie dürfen ankommen zu kleinen Neschek, wo es vergießt Blut und ist massig, a Jid für seine Milchomes, jüdische Milchomes, Milchomes a Jeser, in einem Leben durch Dalit Minim, durch Mitzvahs und durch der Tero und unter dem der Gerichte dem Emerson nicht suchen. Unvergießen Blut, mit Adarabe, mit Aljefen Shal Simcha, waren viele der Jeser, als Chapsach, aber hat nicht gefolgt und man hat in der Seher gewählt und durch und durch hat nicht Machschul gewählt. A jüdisch Kind, was jeder jüdisch Kind gehört zum Lebensens Armee, wird damit echt zufrieden, was hat für sein Emesse mischen, wo das nicht hast wie schon Machschel sein nach Jiden, mehr nicht wie Echtproben nach Jiden, als Jid soll beweisen seine Emesse Geschrehnis und sein Emesse Starkheit, und sein Nehmese Zugebundenkeit zu kommandieren schief, durch Teilu und Mitzviseho, gedei das beweisen, was stark der Soldier ist, als wird nicht voll, weil allerlei Tricks, wo der Jeser prüft sich wird, und beweist als gehört zu Am, Chochon und Noven, und gehört zu den nebigsten Zover, und geht Reis an Kegnien mit der Lule und mit der Nesreg und mit der Hodes und mit der Rovis, wird es damit ein gebenchter Tag und ein gebenchter Jonte von einer freilichen Jonte. Und das bringt noch herab, die Brache und das Woche und die Simcha auf dem ganzen Jahr. Kol minit wasser le Teva. Aber das ganze Jahr ist ein gebenchter Echet für die Eltern und für die Krävin mit guten Gesund und mit guten Parnasse und mit der Sache vergnügen von jedem von euch und von euch allen zusammen.
Chai Tishrei, Tov Shin Nun. Chazan Abramowitz starts Hallel.
Yisecheich Yerushalayim, Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Adonai Kol Goyim,
Give me 2 minutes, few more minutes.
Mashiach Sefer Torah is taken out for his shyness. The Rebbe watches as the rest of the crowd does his shyness.
Okay, so let me stop sharing. Okay, so what we saw was basically the Rebbe telling us that waging a war, if you represent God's in this world, then fighting a war is just basically saying, I really represent God's in this world. I learn about God's Torah. I do his commandments, and therefore he will protect me. And my mitzvahs is my weapon. And my learning Torah is my fighting the yetzer, the evil in the world, the evil within me and the evil in the world. So yesterday was a very special day. It was the 13th day of Tishrei. It is the Yortzeit of the Rebbe Maharash, the 4th Lubavitcher Rebbe. And on this occasion, the Rebbe, his father-in-law, which was the grandson of the Rebbe Maharash, said a mimer, said a Torah. And the Torah goes like this. There is a pasuk is in Hebrew, I'll say, then I'll translate. Boy reniv sfasaim, creation of spontaneous speech. Shalom brings peace. Shalom lakarov ve'larachok, bring peace to those who are far and those who are near. Those who are far from, in that case, Jerusalem, and those who are near to Jerusalem. Amar Hashem refa'as, if God says, and I will heal him. And I will say a few points from this Torah discourse of how we are supposed to change ourselves. Okay, everybody is really comfortable with themselves, and we don't think that we need to change ourselves, right? We think that everything is fine and we're healthy to a certain extent, and we find a balance between different things in our life. However, sometimes we do get sick. Or how do we do preventive medicine? What is the preventive medicine not to get sick? What can we do today not to get sick spiritually? Okay, physically, we probably would know eating healthy and exercise and taking medications. Those are treatment of therapy. But how do we prevent disease? Well, we can prevent disease in one way by changing ourselves. Changing ourselves by being more spiritual beings and improving our character, improving the way we behave towards others, such as acts of goodness and kindness, such as acts of not getting angry, not cursing, not behaving morally inappropriately, and as well as declaring that we are different people. We would like to be different. I have aspiration. I have goals to look at. We just saw the Rebbe, and from my perspective, and from many other perspective, the Rebbe is a very unique individual in that the Rebbe is the ultimate of what a human being can be and should be. Okay, the Rebbe is somebody who worked on himself for years and years to improve himself, to improve his knowledge in everything, knowledge of everything in the world, including and so primarily the knowledge of Torah, and to learn as much as he can, then to improve his character, and to improve his speech. And we can see, you can see how he behaves. I mean, if we, people spend hours during their lifetime, or if not days and weeks and months, watching videos of different people, different characters. I mean, how much time do we look at a singer, a nice singer singing and jumping to music, and we enjoy it, right? But what does it really represent? I mean, do I want to be a singer? Do I see myself as jumping up and down by songs? Or, I mean, that's not my mission in life. I have a personal mission in life. Yeah, maybe it can be a break from something, but that's not the ultimate, right? So the Rebbe is somebody who is the ultimate. Okay, in our generation, he's the one person out of this world who is the person who achieved most refinement physically and spiritually to come close to God. So that's why I show the video, because it give me obviously strengthening, but also to others of what person should be. Is it just enough to control our blood pressure and control our sugars, and that is my purpose in life? That means I'm healthy if my sugar is normal, or I'm healthy if I'm behaving properly and thinking properly and talking properly. Okay, so in this Hasidic discourse, the Rebbe says like this. I want to give you. Let me give you a specific example. Okay, there are two paths in which we can connect with God. There is the regular path of regular behavior, and then there is the supernatural path, okay, or a not regular path. So let me give an example. Let's give, for example, from our daily life. Let's think about the food we eat and the amount of fluid we drink throughout our life. Okay, we are 50, 60, 70 years old. Imagine the amount of food you consume during your life, the amount of water. In order for our life to sustain themselves, we must eat a large quantity of food, a large quantity of liquids. Otherwise, we will not be able to survive. But survival doesn't just mean the body is alive. Survival means that the soul is in the body to do its mission. So when our soul is in our body to do our mission in life, that means that the purpose of why we eat and drink is for the right purpose. Okay, we're not just eating for our own pleasure, I like the cake, so I eat it. We're eating and drinking to sustain ourselves so we can function, to improve our intellect, improve our character, and improve our speech. But there are times when we get sick. How come when we get sick, we take a little pill, and that little pill will change everything? How that little pill will change it? It makes no sense. Pills, medications are not something natural, okay? Yes, it's natural because it's derived from natural means, but it's not the natural path of the world. The natural path of survival is by eating and drinking. It's not natural to take medications. Medications were discovered by physicians who try to help sick individuals. But to begin with, people did not need medications, okay? So what does a medication represent? It's a drop, it's a little pill or a little drop of medicine. Some people take drops, let's say, to help them. How can a little drop help your, 100 pounds body, okay, 150 pounds, 200 pounds body? How does 2 pills, 2 drops help you? Because God created in this world a second path of survival. Okay, it's not the natural survival of eating and drinking. It's a supernatural path that God created to allow you to not have pain, not have high blood pressure, not have diabetes, not have strokes and heart disease, and etc., and so many other diseases. What is the comparison of a pill in the spiritual realm? The Rebbe we just saw, he explained you have an army, that army wants to deter its enemies, so he shows his tanks and his weapons. And the Jews, we show our mitzvahs and Torah and the lulav. Spiritually, a medicine is teshuvah, is return, is realization, is recognition of God. So the pill is a change in my perception, in my personal perception, that there is a creator in the world and that he runs the whole world. Nothing here happens without him wanting it to happen. Nothing. Everything that happens is because God wants it to happen. Yes, he gives us the free choice, and we have the choice to choose. But even what we choose, God already knows that. Okay, and that's a total different discussion. But I'll just give you an example of what food is, what medicine is, what the regular path of being a healthy person, of behaving properly in speech, in speech, thought, and action, and what the medicine is, the return, the recognition, the saying, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be different, I'm gonna change where I am. And the Rebbe, Lubavitcher Rebbe, who we just saw his video, he said yesterday, 34 years ago, or 36 years ago, 1988, he said that nowadays, if a person does teshuvah, if a person returns and recognizes godliness, he is able to heal himself in a manner that there is no sickness to begin with. And physicians, not in their own right, but in the right that God created a possibility of healing, physicians can discover and can treat in a supernatural way, not according to nature. How does it happen? It happens because God said so. And God said, I am going to create a path of new connection. So yes, there is a connection of food and eating. There is a connection of medications. There is a connection of behaving properly, and there is a connection of return. So if I did not keep Shabbos, I have to keep Shabbos. If I wasn't careful in the way I speak, I should be careful. If I didn't keep Shabbos, I'm going to keep Shabbos. Every single thing, every single person can improve. And the Rebbe said on himself that he also is improving. He's also changing. Okay, so the topic of today is to change yourself, to take responsibility of changing ourselves, and to know that this is preventive medicine. This is healing ourselves by coming closer to the recognition of the spiritual, the soul that we have within us. And this is the message of this holiday, and the message of today. Now we have a few minutes. I can have comments and ask questions.
That's really wonderful. Thank you so much for that. That's
Okay.
It was an excellent year.
Thank you.
very
And
interesting to see the
what I was-
connection. Yeah, I'm sorry. Please.
I was touched by the video when you saw the Rebbe shaking the lulav. I have never seen that video particularly, but every time he takes the lulav up or down or sideways, he brings it back to his heart.
That's
Look at
right.
the video. Then he goes, I never saw this in my life. You shake the lulav up, you shake the lulav down, sideways. The Rebbe shakes up to his heart, down to his heart, side to his heart. That was very touching.
Yeah,
Very
beautiful.
different way, and that's what I learned today. That
Good.
everything has to come back to your heart. You have to behave
Excellent.
properly.
So I have a comment or a question actually, which basically about the reference that the Rebbe makes to the lulav, to the esrog as being the spiritual weaponry, right, for the Jewish people, the Jewish army that we all should be. And I find it to be very powerful, of course. But my question is, given what goes on in the world, and especially what's happening in Israel today, and I understand, Dr. Levin, you're from Israel as well. How do we reconcile the spiritual need to do what we're supposed to do, which I have no questions about, really, but the physical defense that Israel has to put up, against the enemies, and there are many of them, as we know. How do we reconcile that? How can we say we put our weapons down and we only resort to spirituality?
No, we never said that. It's in addition.
It's in addition. Okay.
It's in addition.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, every army since King David had, since Yaakov Avinu, he says when Yaakov went to Egypt, before he went, he sent his son to open a yeshiva. You need to have people who are learning and doing mitzvahs, and that's their main focus. Doesn't mean they don't do other things. It means it's their main focus. And there are people who go to fight, and that's their main focus, but they also have to do the mitzvahs.
Right.
So,
one doesn't replace the other, right?
But to answer you in a more deep way, and I don't really know much of what's going on in your mind, but I just want to explain something. Is like the war we have is just resurfacing. It's not a new war.
Right.
The war we have is the war Avraham Avinu had when he conquered Israel. Yaakov had when he conquered Israel. Moshe and Yoshua had when they conquered Israel.
Yeah.
Our war with the world is an ongoing war. You know why? Because we represent spirituality, and the world want to reject spirituality. Okay.
Right.
So we bring something which the world doesn't want to hear. But God sends us as messengers to teach the world that is what they are supposed to hear. Okay.
Yes, to break through that darkness, right?
That's right. But God doesn't want us to burn out the world and create flames that's going to light the darkness. God says the torch you have is a mitzvah. Ner mitzvah v'torah or. Ner, a candle which brings light, is a mitzvah. And Torah brings light. You want to light up the world, is not by breaking and burning the world, not by making fire, is by learning. That's how you disperse it. Why? Because the world is really a concealment on godliness. When Mashiach will come, the world will no longer conceal godliness. We are waiting for Mashiach to come. When Mashiach will come, there will be no question that there is a creator. Now, these guys say, I want to kill you. I can kill you. I can take a gun and kill. And they do that.
Yeah.
So it's not mutually exclusive. So what you're saying is our war in Israel is an ongoing struggle against the forces of evil in the world. And we know that we're going to win because God promised us that we win. But we need to do the teshuvah, the recognition. I'm not fighting Israel because I lived here first. I don't live in Israel because I'm stronger than you and I can burn you down. That's not why I live there. I live there because God created the world, dedicated Israel to be a place of spirituality to the entire world. Okay?
Right.
So where is your most spiritual place in your body? Let me ask you a question. Where is your most spiritual place?
Probably your mind.
That's right, your mind. Why? And it's not just the spiritual place, it's the strongest place. Your feet can only walk. As big as your feet are, they can only walk.
Right.
Your heart, as big as it loves, it can only pump.
Yes.
The brain is stronger, the strongest, because it can include two opposites.
Right.
It can include two opposites, so it's strongest. The heart cannot have two opposites. The heart cannot pump air. The lung can circulate air, but the lung cannot pump air. Can you pick it up?
786-707.
So,
Dr. Levin's office.
so
Hello.
when you learn Torah, why do you learn with your mind?
Hello.
Because the mind is the only one that can understand the opposites in the world. There is good and bad. There is forbidden and there is allowed.
Right.
Only the mind can do that. Okay.
Right.
The hand cannot understand spirituality, only the mind. So we need to know that if we change ourselves, and what is the criteria that in that discourse, what the Rebbe says, what is the criteria to change yourself? If somebody on the outside will tell you, wow, you changed so much, what happened to you? What's wrong? Then you know that you accomplished something.
Right.
I wasn't born up religious. I became religious. And the toughest thing, I'm becoming religious. I'm still becoming religious. The toughest thing is to break your social environment and tell them, I want to be different. Even me as a religious person, if I want to do something more religious, more extreme, I'll be criticized, okay? Negatively usually, but the Rebbe says, don't be afraid to be criticized. Be extremist. Do something unique.
Yeah.
And if you can listen to this mimer, the Rebbe said I can share the link. He said it in Yiddish, but the idea is that it's okay to change ourselves.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
It's healthy as long as you're doing it in the right direction.
In the balanced ways, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for
so
joining.
much.
Do you have a lulav, estrogen lulav for Sukkot?
I do not, but I'm in Brickell and I go to the Rock Shul there. I was there for the high holidays, so I will probably go there.
Okay. Okay. If you want to come to my office, I'm selling them. I'm not selling them. I'm going to give it to you. But I'm not selling them. I'm buying it and I give it to patients. If you want to pay for it, you can pay for it.
That's very kind.
If you want to pick up your own set, you can come to me and just let me know, or you can go to any Jewish store and you can pick it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Very kind. Thank you so much.
Happy Sukkot.
This
Thank
was
you.
very, very good.
Baruch Hashem,
Excellent.
Mrs.
All
Blas.
through, even through the comments afterwards.
So I'm getting better, Mrs. Blas?
You are very good. Just sometimes you don't connect the dots. That's all. I connect dots.
Okay.
Dr. Levin,
Yes.
Is it Levin or Levin?
Levin.
Levin.
It's okay.
Because you don't have the E at the end, so that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his.
So the quick question, last question, is it okay for me to now, first of all, do you do this once a week, or what is the schedule with this?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I get a link, is it okay? Do you authorize me to forward it to my other Jewish friends?
Yes.
Okay, that would be obviously
Levin's office.
would be interesting.
Encouraged. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we have a website with everything. Okay.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
For the
look into it.
previous classes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Yes, we are.
Happy
Let me
Sukkot.
transfer you. So we have to see if you have.